ICE agents who killed a person in Maine yesterday were reportedly not using body-worn cameras.
These crazy little mini Mamdanis who are popping up all around the country, they are a danger to you and your family. You've heard the president talk about how he wants to effectively double the funding for national defense. Look, we live in dangerous times. We're fighting communism on our own shores.
I want to hop into some clips of MAGA Mike Johnson speaking with reporters and reminding us how he truly might be the worst Speaker of the House of all time. A big fall from grace from Pelosi, who wasn't perfect herself, that's for sure. So leave us a like on the video. We're aiming for 100 by the end of the day. Make sure to subscribe, comment for the algorithm, and we'll get straight down to the breakdown.
ICE agents who killed a person in Maine yesterday were reportedly not using body-worn cameras, and that's despite DHS officials coming to Congress and repeatedly saying over the last few months that they want to expand body camera usage. Does there need to be accountability on DHS from Congress here?
I don't know anything about this event. Okay, I was a little busy yesterday, so I'm going to reserve judgment. I know that there was a tragic shooting, and I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know. And you guys can mock me for not knowing that. I worked about 22 hours in the last few days, and I did not get the briefing on that yet. I will this morning.
Okay, so he's lying here. We all know he's lying here. Let's just be clear to start. He's obviously lying to avoid a hard question before we get into the meta conversation, taking him at face value to disprove him. But like, this is the party of merit. So let's also just point out incompetence of this level gets you fired in any other field. If this was a black Democrat woman spokesperson, they would be getting eviscerated, but the straight white conservative man gets a free pass. The shooting was all over the news. There were endless protests about it, while any reforms that could prevent it from happening in the future has to go through the House, has to go through Congress, making it his direct job, right? It is a dereliction of duty to have no idea about the pressing issues that are taking lives in your country, but you have all the time in the world to ramble about communism in the DSA, but sorry, haven't read up on the 18th ICE shooting, the 7th ICE murder in American streets as we refuse reforms for them. Like, ICE killed 2 humans in 1 week. What is Congress doing that's more important than addressing that? You're gonna have to give me a break.
These crazy little mini Mamdanis who are popping up all around the country, they are a danger to you and your family. This is not a game. If they promise you free stuff, there is far more beneath those promises that even some of these people do not understand themselves. And so we are here as the Republican Party to stand on the founding principles of the greatest nation in the history of the world. It is our duty to do that. And we're doing it on behalf of all of you, even the journalists who don't agree with our policies all the time. You better agree on these principles, because it's what keeps you free. By the way, it's what keeps the press free, okay? This is essential for your well-being and your family. This is not a game. This is not our father's Democrat Party. We're not arguing over marginal tax rates anymore. We're arguing over whether or not freedom is going to survive. And that's why we're so serious about this. Look, I'm a happy warrior, man. I like to get up and have fun, but this is not a fun time. We're in a war. We're in a philosophical war to save the greatest nation in the history of the world. And we take it very seriously.
Yeah, guys, as Trump has sued numerous media outlets, has sued pollsters for polls he doesn't like, attempts to intimidate reporters to their faces almost daily, he subpoenaed New York Times journalists. He had his FCC try to go after Jimmy Kimmel for a joke. He attempted to indict veterans for their words, reminding troops not to follow illegal orders in a video. But of course, none of this is a threat. It's famously the communists that you need to worry about. Like, we'll get into it more after the next clip, but it's just such the dirty little buzzword for the right. And let's just again be clear, no one is promising you free stuff. We're putting forth that these things should be funded through taxes, where again, both parties will spend your taxes. We think it should go towards you having access to college, healthcare, childcare, and more, so you're not paying out of pocket, while Republicans think they should go to the rich or for bombs to drop on children overseas, while you still pay for healthcare, education, childcare, and more just out of pocket.
There are some ideas, a real vision on how to improve that even further, to bolster that. You've heard the president talk about how he wants to effectively double the funding for national defense. Look, we live in dangerous times. We're fighting communism on our own shores, and we're fighting evil terrorists and tyrants around the world. And we have to be able to protect our national security.
You can really tell how well the Republicans are doing politically based on how much you hear them say communism, because it is this almost conditioned trigger word for conservatives. Like, communism to them isn't communal ownership of the means of production. It's literally whatever bad thing is happening to them right now. So when Republicans can't run on their economic platform, their record, their successes, well, they run on the fear of communism and the divide it can create. And well, right now, now things clearly aren't going well for them, and lo and behold, their daily talking points are communism. Forget the waste, fraud, and abuse angle. Forget that the Pentagon has failed 9 straight audits. Forget their promises to lower the defense budget and end foreign wars abroad. Well, now we need trillions for our Department of War because communism, the very real threat on our shore.
The president says that the MOU is dead, hostilities are back on, and says the 60-day clock is just reset. Is it time to consider an AUMF vote? And when it comes to the toll that the U.S. is reportedly going to be charging, is that really proper? I mean, in the past, the administration has said there should not be a charge, and now 20%.
I'm going to let the White House answer to that. We're still awaiting further details on the toll idea. I was with the president for about 3 hours yesterday. We talked about it very briefly because we had a lot of other things on the agenda. I think we're awaiting further details, and we'll determine that. With regard to the Strait of Hormuz, there is a memo of understanding, but Iran seems to have no interest whatsoever in maintaining any of those provisions. And when they are firing on commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, it's a danger to all freedom-loving people around the world and the economies of almost every nation on the planet. And so the response from America is appropriate. What do you do with these people? Listen, they're not good faith actors. They cannot be trusted. The people that are in these negotiation rooms, as the president said himself yesterday, they will say one thing and literally walk out the door and do the opposite. So it's a very sticky situation there when you're trying to have a negotiation with someone who you know is lying to you to your face. That's the challenge we have, and we trust the administration is going to continue to work to resolve this. We need to. We want to, of course. I'm heartened that gas prices have not risen again. We're about $70-something a barrel last time I checked. We need to keep that under control.
So as we're now well over 150 days, we had a ceasefire in name only that failed. We had diplomatic talks that led to nothing as our attacks are ramping back up, expanding in size and scope. Trump is re-threatening civilian infrastructure, threatens a ground invasion, and threatens to pull in regional partners as well. The Republican Party still refuses to make him come to Congress and get authorization for his war. Something even Bush did after 9/11, and they told us at first it wasn't going to be needed because it wasn't going to reach 60 days. And after 60 days, we were told it was days from being over. It'll never hit 100 days, so why would we do it now? And I think what we're seeing pretty clearly is that the Republican Party has no plan to ever rein in Trump's power anywhere. This is his war. They're going to let him carry it on until who knows how many hundreds of billions are wasted, who knows how many lives are lost. I mean, we bombed a school for the children on day one. They have no remorse about this. None of our objectives have been met, and we're clearly on the losing side of the geopolitical landscape here in terms of how this war is playing out. But yeah, guys, who needs an authorization through Congress? Trump is king above all else, so let's let him take us to the destruction of this country.